Hello, this is Grant, and welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 1 Master Run. Today we're going to go fight Isabella, stop immunity, and pick up some survivors on the way. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the two survivors hanging in Wonderland Plaza that we forgot to get when we were there for Joe the Cop. They're pretty easy since anything in Wonderland Plaza has the benefit of the shortcut right next to it. So it's going to go pretty quickly. It helps a lot if you can find a queen, but there's almost always one in the crowd right under them, so it's not going to be a huge issue. And they're pretty good survivors in general. I don't think I even give them weapons, but if you do, they can kind of handle their own. After that, we have another one to pick up in Paradise Plaza. So I'm going to head over here to this giant pink rabbit to the left of the Space Rider ride. And all you have to do is knock him down with something once the zombies are gone. You can get a PP photo of each one of them when you're there. I also dropped my small chainsaw so that I can easily refill it here. I take a gamble and just ride through those guys. I don't think it kills them, but it does knock them down, so it's another reason why the skateboard's pretty convenient. You can actually ride on that ride for some PP. I don't do it here, but I do it a lot later on, because at the end of the game you have so much time where you're just waiting for the game to end. So you can see Nick and Sally over there. As we close, you have a PP opportunity, so I'm going to go ahead and start off by just clearing out these zombies. They're really easy with this chainsaw. There's not really any weapon that compares to the small chainsaw. The closest thing is the laser sword, but by the time you get the laser sword, it's really unlikely you're going to have trouble with the game. Basically, I'm just going to pick up this queen, throw it out, get a ton of zombie kills, and then just go in, mop up whatever's left. I kind of like this scoop. I wish there was a way to find hidden scoops a little bit easier rather than just coming across them. This one's not too bad because usually you'll find them when you see Joe the Cop because you have to go through here. So, but there's other ones like Gil, who's in the food court, and he's like drunk. It's very unlikely you ever go back to the food court except when you're there for food cart Carlito, or if you're passing through to go through the park, which that's not a thing with the shortcut. And even then, unless you come close enough to actually hear him crying, he's really easy to miss.
Fantastic.
That's actually a good summon PB. I think usually the most you can get from any of those is 10,000. It's not a huge deal to try and maximize that, but it is a good chunk, so I always try to make sure I can get it. I'm not quite sure what this rabbit is. I think it's supposed to be like a kind of a inflatable bounce castle type deal or something. Kind of a weird place to put the door on the rabbit. A little too anatomically correct. Alright, so we're just gonna walk our survivors right on back. It's pretty easy because there's just one single corridor leading up to the shortcut. So I can kind of clear out every single zombie between here and there. There's a lot of these stores. I never go into these stores in Wonderland Plaza. There's no real reason to. Because most of them are just there for either convenience. So, like, there's usually every area has a camera store so you can restock your batteries. It's really rare because you don't really need to be taking photos. I do it every once in a while just in case, but I don't think I've ever ran out of photo, like, charges. Unless I'm really just trying to waste time. Here we also see we need to go get some food to avert a mutiny. So we're going to go pick one up on our way back. It's pretty easy. Really, the easiest way to get it is the orange juice in Paradise Plaza since that's always there and you can get as much as you want. I'm going to go over here just to grab some. I think I end up using it to heal though. I don't know why, but I always seem to come to this orange juice. It's really convenient. I think I came across it when I was doing the 7-Day Survivor. I'm not sure, because actually I think food locations are different in that version. Either way, it's always been kind of convenient. Here I use that trick where you can just send them to the back. I cannot believe I didn't know this until I actually started this run because I had so much trouble in all my other runs getting them to get close enough to the door so you can get them through. Aggravating. If only I had known. I love how when you hit the small chainsaw just right on a zombie, their head will like decapitate and pop up without moving. It's hilarious to me. Sometimes the arms will do that. It's just so like this kind of comical gore. That's hilarious. Now these cultists are a real pain if you don't have the small chainsaw. The next best thing you can do is get a gun, usually a handgun. They're all over. You can find them in trash cans if there's no cop zombies around. And you can just slowly go through and kill them with one single headshot. Other than that, if you're level, like I think 45, if you have the move where you pull out their intestines, that will also work on all survivors, cultists, and the special forces at the end of the game. Which luckily we end up having that by the time they show up. Makes it a lot simpler. Unfortunately, some of the controls for those moves are really difficult. Like, make sure you're in front of a zombie and pressing X and A rather than holding X and A, because that's a different move. Or if you come from behind, he's going to grab him instead of kill him. I wish there was a better way around that. I think in Dead Rising 2, since they don't have the camera, it's a little bit simpler because they can put it on the trigger. So that helps quite a bit rather than having these really precise controls. Makes me feel like I'm doing like Mortal Kombat and I'm messing up the controls. These bugs are aggravating. Whenever you kill a bunch of zombies with the queen, they'll all drop those little larvae. And they hop around and they do some really minuscule damage, but it's enough to make you stumble. So if you're carrying a heavy weapon, you'll just repeatedly drop it. And the only way you can deal with that is leave the area, wait till they're gone, or you can actually go around and step on them to kill them. But they'll fade away eventually. If I end up playing any more of this, what I really want to do is, I think it's the giant throw, where you can just like pick a survivor or a zombie up and throw them. I really want to see if I can just like, anytime they get stuck, I just pick them up and I start throwing them up on that platform and see if that will work. So Ronald here, he's going to cause a mutiny unless you bring him food. It's pretty easy. You can bring him literally anything. But if I recall, what's kind of annoying is if you come back here without food one time, then you can't like leave and get more. If you enter like this area at all, you fail it.
I appreciate that.
Kind of cool if there was like a mod for this game that was like a little bit more heavy realism and other things you need to maintain, like get Frank sleep, get him food, get food for all these survivors. But then maybe if you have more survivors here, they can give you supplies. Something that makes it a little tougher and slower paced, where it's harder to survive rather than the focus being on saving everyone and running through zombies that are going to be way too slow to actually do anything. It can get really chaotic in here if you open up all the doors, because people will wander and cheer and just do really annoying things. Okay. Next thing is we need to go kill Isabella on her motorcycle. It's actually a really tough fight. I know it's something a lot of new players have difficulty with, especially if you can't get guns from the hunting shack. Really, in this game, there's only a couple things you need to hit to really have an easier time. Like, if you can get the small chainsaw at all, that makes basically everything easier, because everything's solution is, like, get the small chainsaw. Or the same things for the gun shop. That if you're good enough to kill Cletus, well, then you can have as many guns as you want, so the game becomes a lot easier. Particularly psychos are so much easier if you have guns. The hunting rifle just tears through them usually. I'm going to actually make the mistake of going to Isabella through Wonderland Plaza. The better way is through North Plaza, because then I could grab stuff from the gun shack before I get there, which is what I want to do. Whereas if you come from here, it's going to start the fight no matter what, because you have to pass in front of the supermarket. And one of the annoying parts of the fight is you can't go in the supermarket or leave the area. Otherwise, she will go away and you'll fail the mission. Luckily, you can actually run anywhere else in North Plaza and you're okay. So as long as you know some food locations, it's not too bad. Like in particular, we're going to go start this up. And then we're just going to immediately go to the hunting shack and then kind of improvise.
Hey.
After this fight, her motorcycle will always be here, which is kind of nice. But the motorcycle is really weak. So, I mean, at most you could try and get it all the way to the food court, but it's a huge pain. And it's probably going to break if you're hitting a lot of zombies. There is a achievement, though, you can get for getting a large jump on the motorcycle. And you're pretty much designed to do it off these ramps here. She's really random in what she does. The best way is to get somewhere she can't reach you and just keep hitting her. It's even better if you get somewhere where she thinks she can reach you, so she just keeps trying to come at you but never can. Even if you're like up on top somewhere, if she eventually stops to shoot you, her bullets are really weak by comparison, so you can just trade hits with her. Like get a shotgun or a sniper and just trade. She doesn't like to come this far back into the hunting shack area. In general, most NPCs don't. Like, it's almost like its own separate little mini area. Maybe that might be just so you don't, like, bring other people into the Cletus fight or something. I'm not sure. So basically we're going to pick up shotguns. Shotguns are better for this fight because you can usually get pretty close to with her. So hunting rifle works, but we're going to go out and try and improvise. There's a ton of small boxes and crates in this area you can get on. And really any one of them is going to work. It kind of depends on how she's going to approach it. If you get a unfortunate area, it is possible for her to just stun lock you because she'll get stuck on top of you, and every time you stand up, you'll get hit over and over and over. And that really sucks. But here I'm going to move just because she doesn't seem to be stopping like I want. I've never done it this way. Normally I do it over in front of the grocery store because there's a nice little box you can stand on and she'll just drive straight at you. And you can just line it up and hit X every time she's in your crosshairs. I got pretty lucky here because she's just kind of stuck. But, oh well. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Wait, I've gotta talk to you! You listen to me? I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. Now, what do you know about all this anyway?
Are you a reporter? Let go.
I think I covered it in the very first episode. I think Carlito kind of wants this whole incident to be reported on. He doesn't necessarily want it to be him, but he wants the whole Santa Cabeza story to get out and how this was like the story of revenge and they brought it upon themselves. So I don't think it's too crazy that Isabella suggests that they meet.
How much do you already know? Have you called for help?
Hold your horses, babe. I'm the one asking the questions here. What is Santa Cabeza, and how is it connected to all this?
The zombies were created by you, not us. That's what Carlito wants you all to know.
Who?
If you want to interview someone, talk to Carlito. He has all the answers.
You're talking about that guy that took pot shots at us with a sniper rifle, aren't you?
Imagine tensions are pretty high considering they've both shot each other.
Take me to him.
No.
It's pretty hard to have an interview after that.
He's injured. And in no mood to talk to anyone. I'll bring him to you once he's recovered. I can.
Some of these later episodes are going to be pretty interesting to see how much I want to include, because it gets pretty dry towards the end of the game. Like, after about noon on day 3, where the special forces start coming in, it gets really dry because, like, all the survivors are in or gone at this point, and you're just kind of waiting for this mall to be cleared out. Can't wait till we get to overtime mode. That overtime mode is going to be exciting.
Fine. Go. When will you be back?
Tonight at midnight. Wait for us in the store next to the camera shop in the North Plaza.
This is the day a lot of the plot starts to pick up, so it's gonna get pretty action heavy after this.
I'm Isabella, by the way.
All
And I
right.
promise I'll
It's the end
come
of the
back.
episode. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about or cover. There's some really cool stuff that I learned by doing Dead Rising, and love to share it.